Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachat, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And in this lesson, I was, as usual, I was going through some of these headlines. All right, and that's why I titled it "Fearful Headlines." The world is bracing for chaos. All right, and basically, as I'm going to show you, looking through a few of these headlines, as well as a few articles that I have here, you can see that maybe a couple months ago, last year, you saw, oh shoot, it's a spirit. Hey, bro, I can tell you how about Shemel Shai. There's a chariot, flashing right outside my window. All right. But yeah, last it's crazy every time they show up. It just something just says, look, and right when I turn, I just see it. But right, you started seeing a lot of headlines that were more geared towards prophecy. Really, when this demic started, that's when things started speeding up. All right, because it started with the fears, right, that this demic brought. It basically shut everything down, and majority of people hadn't experienced that before. That kind of shock to the system, right? No clubs, no NBA, no sports, no everything was just shut. It was eerie. Nobody was going out, like that kind of thing. They pushed that, and they were constantly reporting how many people died, right, every morning. So a lot of people were in that fearful mind state. And now what you're seeing is, and there were a lot of information that came out during that time. But now, as you go through, and we've been doing this for years, going through the different articles, and so you can see how there's a theme or a pattern in a lot of these articles nowadays. And if it's not talking about food insecurities, it's talking about something that the World Health Organization is doing, or the sea people, or some economic woes. The market's looking bad, gas prices going up because they are, but because they're not reporting it on the news, they're not reporting on the news right now. People thought what the gas prices just it stopped being a problem. No, it's going up. Okay, they're talking about baby formula. There's a shortage of that. All right, so there's when you look through the different headlines. Oh, they're talking about this digital, right? You're gonna see it as we go through, right? This digital age and everything. Things are not looking good. At least not for this world. All right, the world is bracing for chaos. And that's why Amos 5:19 says it's gonna be as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, right? Or he fled from the bear, went into the house, leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. Because there's going to be no escape, and the world is starting to see that there's trouble, calamities that the world has not seen the likes of on so many different fronts. Now we know that this is basically the winds of prophecy blowing. All right, when the storm is about to hit, and then you feel that wind first. The skies get dark, then you start to feel that mighty wind. Well, the winds of prophecy are blowing upon the world. All right. And it's going to get stronger and stronger the closer the storm gets. So I'm going to start scrolling through some of these headlines. And there were some interesting ones that I saw. Here's an interesting one. Health authorities track movements of Canadians via cell phones during the pandemic. And that's something that we knew. All right. But these are tactics that you see in like the Gray State movie concept trailer, or like some post NWO movie or some sci-fi, some Black Mirror type episode. These tactics you see are things that are more commonly used in those shows, and now you're starting to see it. They're talking about giving who the authority basically to declare. Basically when you I remember you watch movies like Contagion, right, or Outbreak, or shows and movies like that, and you notice that in those movies or shows, the WHO, right, or the C, right, they have so much authority, so much power. They come in there and whatever they say is what goes. Right, the C has said this, the director of this has said this, and that the whole world is following whatever they say. If they cancel you, you cancel. And in real life, for a point in time, people actually thought that the C, and when I say C, it's you know what I'm talking about, right? The CD, I'm not gonna say the last one, but the CD was just in movies. You had people that didn't even know that the CDC. Right, I said it once, but the CD was a real thing, a real body. Because it's like, yo, these guys pulling. And so when this demic started, it's like, yo, these guys pulling up out of nowhere saying this. Who the hell are they to? Oh, they recommended this, but there's been a transition, a gradual transition of giving them power they don't have. They only have the power you believe they have. So it went from their suggesting to their recommending to their throwing out mandates. You're like, nigga, who you? But now what they're trying to do is officially give them that kind of power on paper without having to consult with whatever territory which this outbreak or whatever is in. They could just basically declare what they want, when they want, how they want, where they want. That's too much power. But it's perfect for them because look at what they were able to do these past 2 years without having the kind of power that they're trying to vote on, I believe on May 22nd to 28th. Anyway, you have some information here. Capitulation risk level looms as stocks puke. Right? You got this guy saying this thing. Well, it's interesting, right? You want to tell Americans to treat it like that, right? Like the flu. So why don't you treat it like the flu? There's exemptions for the flu. Damn devils. Um, a recession is necessary. See, like us, as you go through, you're gonna see what are the reoccurring subjects that these headlines are all pushing. All right, to the world, these are fearful headlines because these are gonna affect you. All right, Shanghai tightens, lockdowns. The Fed has already lost the inflation fight. Right, you hearing talks about inflation now. You got this right here, right? Yeah, and that's right. Here we go again. White House asked for another 20 billion, right, in the C money to stop winter wave. What? you know, come on, man. It's getting old. All right. It says markets uncertain, but certainly more pain to come. So you notice that as we go through, look at this. Spring wheat hits 14-year high on World War III and weather woes. Now, my thing is, right? My thing is, hold on a second. Isn't it's not in so people it doesn't dawn on people that isn't it crazy how the Israelites were warning about these topics, these same topics that are being used commonly today? They've been on the highways and the byways for years, talking about World War III, talking about famines and pestilence, and now you see what's going. And starting with the elders and apostles on down, we mentioned Russia, all right, mentioned Israel, Iran, U.S., China, okay, and now this is what you're seeing in headlines. At first, right? Though you mentioned World War III, people thinking of David Icke. They thinking of these kinds of people. They're thinking of you. Oh yeah, you one of them. You talking about NWO and that's that conspiracy. They came out, they've openly admitted, they're telling you that they're speeding up Agenda 2030. Now they're openly using these terms. Agenda 2020, 2030, NWO, okay? Pushing the charagma openly. I mean, World War III, famines. You know what I'm saying? Do we need to keep going? And these are all written in the book. They're written in the book. But that's okay because once that wind, that prophetic wind starts picking up, people are going to want answers. And it's crazy because most people have a Bible in their house. They got the book. But what's key is the understanding. You can have a nice ass car. If you don't know how to drive, what good is the car to you? You have here US gas prices soar as Europe and Asia scramble for LNG. Okay, so there you go. You have bloodbath futures yuan tumble as 10-year yields soar on global stagflation fears. And what else are you noticing that's reoccurring? The term global. Like this is not isolated to one country, one city, one geographical location. This is global. And interestingly enough, you had what WEF, right, World Economic Forum, talking about a global reset. So is it by coincidence that they had that COP 26? I think it's 26, and they're talking about a global reset, and all of a sudden, all these global problems are arising. They talk about a new global monetary system, and all of a sudden, there's global economic woes. All right, let's see what else we got. Um, yeah, you got some more here on the market, but really, it was this next page that had a lot more um, information on here. You have here, what's this? Visualizing historical inflation adjusted oil prices, the inflation adjusted oil prices. Right, you got this thing here they're still talking about. And all these are going to come back into play. All right, all these are going to come back into play. This isn't just going out the window. Early morning index futures are slumping towards YTD lows, not looking good. Germany's top banking chief warns of bankruptcy tsunami amid stagflation threats. So where's the good news? The sweet news, the news that tells people everything is going to be okay. Where is that? We ain't seeing that. So I'm curious as to what world these people are living in that makes them think it's okay to keep on going around with all this stupidity. You have your digital dystopia looms. 90% of nations are planning CBDCs. And it's just like that. The world is transitioning. Salakia, the world is transitioning from the cash, credit cards, debit cards, yada yada, to now everybody's jumping on CBDCs. 90% of nations are planning CBDCs. All right, you got this right here. I don't know why they chose this image right here. Okay, you got some more information. Hedge funds are flooding into energy stocks as at the fastest pace in years. Now, this is Morgan Stanley, right? And it says, we live in the most chaotic, hard to predict macroeconomic times in decades. Yeah? We live in the most chaotic, hard to predict macroeconomic times in decades. It says fears of a global recession abound. And in the past 3 months, we have revised our global growth forecast down 170 BP while inflationary pressures have risen. Yeah, because they're uncertain. They can't come out and give you solid information because it's going to change, and then they're going to need to readjust that. And but you see the trend right? You see the trend, the direction in which the news is going. It's all leading to chaos. These are all warnings. Everything we're reading here are just warnings. Warning, warning, warning. Look, hedge fund CIO, we're on our own now without a Fed safety net. It's a sobering reality. And if you know if you're in the know, these headlines they're not so bad for you to hear, because you have some understanding as to, well, what's going on, you know, and how it's actually going to turn out at the end. Oh, this is interesting. 3 American tourists found dead in mysterious health emergency at Bahamas resort. So they got babies catching hepatitis. They got bird flu jumping into man. They got monkeypox in the UK. They talking about another wave in Africa, subvariants. All right, AIDS all over the place. Now they're talking about a mysterious health emergency. So does the world sound like it's getting better to you? No, it's not. Why? Because we're in the time of prophecy. And seeing these things, for us in the know, knowing what we got to do, these things should be more ammo, more fuel to the fire. That, man, the Lord, everything the Lord said, man, is happening, and it's only going to get worse. That's one thing you can say. It's only going to get worse until Yahushua makes his return. It's only going to get worse, because Yahushua's return is the pivoting point. All right, it's when the game changes from one direction to the other. Is when things stop going bad and start going good, in terms of the world condition. But until Yahushua makes his return, right, until he cracks those clouds with that giant chariot and sets the world back in order, it's only going to get worse. It's only whether it's chaos or whether it's an NWO, it's going to get worse. And that's all we can really tell people. That's the news. That's the news that's there. Now, if you had taken heed, you've been preparing your mind, you've been seeing what's going on, oh wow, it's a spirit. That's the spirit. Lord must have wanted this precept to come out. Two brothers posted it. This is from Measure the Times 144 and Fear Yahweh 144. Ezekiel 9:5. Thus saith the Lord God. And that God there is Yahweh, because it's G-O-D in all caps. And you look at the Hebrew over there, is Yahweh, right? It says, an evil and only evil, behold, is come. And only evil. So are we the bad guys? No, we're telling you what the scriptures say. Yeah, that's right. Gas is $4.69 a gallon here in northern Arizona. Yeah, over here is in New York you got places at 447, 443. How did we go from 340 something, 350 something, 370 something? Now we have 440. But this is normal? No, this is not normal. All right, but as the scripture says, Ezekiel 7:5, thus saith the Lord. The Lord is the one, and the Lord is the one in control of how things go. And he's telling you, look, and only evil is come. Only evil. So, I mean, don't get mad at us when we warn you that, look, this thing is not going to get any better. But these are signs of the transitioning of this age into the next. Right? This messed up, vile, wicked age and generation needs to be reset. But it first needs to collapse. And that's what the Lord is ultimately doing. Now, this says Germany warns of global famine. There you go again. What does it say in Matthew 24? That Yahweh shall not prophesy of earthquakes and famines and pestilences in diverse places? Right? That's different parts of the earth. Second Ezra 16, all right, I believe around the 22nd verse, warns, it says, for many that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. And this article says it right there. Millions could die because of the demic and the ongoing military action in Ukraine, Berlin's development minister believes. Why does he believe that? Why would he say that? Man, this thing is serious, man, and it's sometimes it feels surreal because it's actually happening. But when this thing, as it progresses, you keep in mind you can't go in reverse, and you got to be ready all the way to go to trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because right now you can still go to the store. Prices are going up, but you can still get access to certain things. Very soon, it's gonna get hard to even know. Okay, well, where do I go to get food? Right? Like, even if I had the money to, where can I even access these things? And it's gonna get harder and harder, more scarce once this sets in. All right. And at that point, when they finally come out with some BS solutions, they're rationing this, they're doing this, going, like during the pandemic, they were sending out them stimulus checks, right? But you got to go here, apply this, do register here, do this, so you could get your ration, you could get your yada yada, because it's so bad out here. But there's gonna be stipulations, and if you don't fit that, how are you gonna eat? How are you gonna survive? How are you gonna feed your family? Forget work. See, at some point, work is not gonna cut it anymore. You're gonna be going to work realizing that your cost of living is much more than your paycheck. You're not going to be one paycheck away from hard times. You're not that paycheck is not going to do anything for you. It's not going to be able to cover anything. It's going to, hey, life is about to get very hard. People got to set their priorities right and stop worrying about vain things that are not. You worried about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and you worried about all these things out here. Abortions and this and that. My man, you worried about all that. The things that are about to be going on, when all hell breaks loose, you ain't gonna have the option. Oh, some guy jumped out of an alleyway and raped me, and now I'm at Planned Parenthood trying to get. You ain't gonna have that. You're not gonna have that now. Typically the way it works, you get dude unloads, right? He unloads the truck in your backyard. You getting pregnant. Unless the Lord says, "No, I'm closing up that womb." But if He doesn't, and so what do you do then? Because when women get pregnant, they start getting weaker, because now there's a whole nother body. You're carrying a whole nother being inside you. You get slower, weaker, more fatigued, more tired, nauseous. Now all hell is breaking loose. What are you gonna do? You hungry. You've been ravished and messed up, and you barely managed to survive. And that, I mean, that's it's getting bad. And at first, it sounded like you guys are just fear mongers. Y'all just saying that. You guys are just, damn. Y'all always pushing some negative, hating ass, scary stuff, man. What's wrong with y'all? Get a life, yeah, yeah, conspiracies. Well, where? See, for a period of time, you could hide yourself behind those excuses. People didn't want to get right. They didn't want to hear the scary things of the truth. So they could hide behind, oh, you guys are just crazy. Y'all waste your time always trying to scare somebody, and yeah, how with this and this dangerous and the chip and this and that. So you can hide behind that. You're scoffing, but only for so long. Because when these things start unfolding, where do you hide? Where are you gonna go? You know, you can't come up to us and, oh, you guys are always talking about famines, and go do something with yourself. Well, when you go back home, you ain't gonna be no food for you. What are you gonna hide behind then? Anyway, let me read a bit of this article. It says the world is about to face an acute food crisis. Let's look up that word acute. Definition. Now it says here acute of of a bad, difficult, or unwelcome situation or phenomenon, present or experienced um, to a severe or intense degree. All right? Severe, critical, drastic, dire, dreadful, terrible. This is why I like looking up words because you get synonyms, right? So you get a nice, good picture. Life and death. You hear that? The word acute is this what it means? All right. Perilous. Did the scriptures not talk about perilous times? Urgent, dangerous, vital, serious. So now, when you substitute that understanding, the world is about to face a serious, deadly, life threatening, perilous, life and death, vital food crisis due to skyrocketing food prices. So, what does that mean? That means that people are going to be dying very soon of lack of food. This article is basically, along with first and foremost the warnings through the scriptures, is basically a death sentence for a lot of people because there are people that are going to be subject to this. It's going to be vital and life threatening for them, for the world, but like they're going to be people that are going to die by this way. They're not going to survive this. All right, they're talking about here, right? U.S. faces baby formula shortage. See, a lot of these women raise up artificial babies. You know, they don't like to breastfeed. They don't want to learn how to actually take care of a baby. A lot of these women don't. They're not mothers. All right, they're just women with babies. Matter of fact, they're just big babies with little babies. A lot of women are big babies with little babies. They're not mothers. They're not wives. They don't know how to raise a child. Some of them weren't raised or taught that. Okay? So they think a child is a toy that you do TikToks with, you know, and then you just put a pacifier in their mouth when they cry. You just do whatever the hell you want. That's what a lot of these women walk around and they themselves are just big ass children. You leave a child in the care of another child, what you think is going to happen? Right? So they a lot of them don't know. They just know the typical starter pack, right? Young mom starter pack. I got a baby, I got food stamps, yada yada. Baby daddy's out somewhere doing some shit. I'm out here somewhere doing some shit. Oh, he's crying. Yeah, just get the formula, yada yada, put it in his mouth. Cool. But you don't really know how the baby is supposed to be raised. All right. Yeah, Khan. Yep. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakatam. Aharon, Ahmath, but they're just incubators at this point. Yeah. That's pretty much what a lot of these women are. Not all of them, but a good majority. So they're gonna be bumping heads with this right here. They're gonna go, oh shit, what do we do? They don't have backup plans, right? They're used to that routine. You go buy the diapers, buy this. Really, you don't even got to use your money because I'm sure the courts are sucking dry some other man out there, right, on child support. But is that money really supporting the child? No, it's being used. You wonder why a lot of these women drive these big ass cars, these nice ass cars, and in your head he's saying, "Wait, hold on a second, hold on. I work. I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm just using an example, right? I'm working hard. I've been working at this place for a good amount of years. I don't even drive a car like that. This chick don't even look like she got that kind of job. How did she get that? Sometimes you may think, oh, maybe she dealing with some guy that's rich and he can buy. But hey, a lot of cases, man, she'll tell you, no, it's my car. No, it ain't. It's the money that the court sucked out of their baby daddy, as they call him, right, and gave to you, or your baby daddies, and gave to you, and you don't use that to buy that, and you're going around acting like you're all rich, flexing and shit. And the sad part is, you're gonna have a lot of babies dying. because today these women are just barely raising these children because they have so much assistance. But when times get tough, like you have this is just the beginning of it. A lot of these women, their babies are going to be dying because they're not going to be able to take care of them. They don't know the alternatives. They don't know the mechan. They don't look, so it ain't gonna look too good. Now it says here, and it starts with baby formula, and it's interesting, right? Because that's like quote unquote baby food, but eventually it's gonna start coming up to the real formula, right? The real food that everybody got to eat. Now it says major retailers in the U.S. have begun rationing baby formula amid soaring out of stock rates, according to media reports on Sunday. Some pharmacies and supermarkets are limiting shoppers to 3 infant and toddler formula products per purchase in stores. And, and that number is going to come smaller and smaller because eventually you're not going to be able to restock. So whatever you have in stock at some point is going to run out. And everybody's going to try to run to the stores that they do have it at. It says USA Today said, um, due to increased demand and various supplier challenges, infant and toddler formulas are seeing constraint across the country. All right, so look at that. Between November and April, the out of stock rate of baby formula, a manufactured breast milk substitute made made mostly from cow milk. Why did the Most High give you breasts? What do you understand why you lactate? You know why you don't just normally just when you just there, you don't just squirt milk out, but you do it when you have a child? That milk is supposed to go. Babies naturally know where the end the pipe is at, where the titties at. So they naturally know how to reach for it. They little ass hands. And instead you throw a freaking artificial bottle in there with formula, this shouldn't even be a problem if you just stick your titty in his mouth. Sorry for being vulgar, but just saying it as it is. But hey, whatever the case may be, this is where it's at, and this is just one of the woes. Okay, it says here, jumped from single digits to nearly 40% nationwide, and even exceeding 50% in some states. So life ain't getting easier now, is it? Life is hard. Yeah, life is hard. Yeah, con. Yeah, it forms a bond, with the mother and the baby. But that's why I said a lot of these women are not mothers. They're not mothers. So you have here, the world is about to face an acute food crisis due to skyrocketing food prices. Oh, and a lot of these women, their parents are gonna eat them. Trust me, a lot of these women. Look, let me give you a little perspective. In the ancient world, women had way more integrity and honor and common sense than in this world, because there was still, and even in Israel, because there was still some morality, some way you would actually raise your children, and raise their daughters. And so we still had that. Today, it's not there, right? And in the ancient world, mothers actually had, still had that love for their children. In the ancient world, women wanted to have children. It was a shame, right, to not have children. Today, they're pushing to kill grown babies. So you can see how distorted the mindset has become today, right? It's much worse than it was in the ancient world. Now, if we go back to the ancient world where people were more family oriented, society wasn't over sexualized. I'm talking about in the Old Testament. You still had people with common sense. You still had mothers, right? Families. Now, in that time, you still had mothers eating their babies because of that famine, because of how difficult it was, how hungry they got. That even them with a higher morale than people today, even they succumb to the hunger and ended up eating their children. Now you fast forward here till today, what do you think these women are going to do? Shalom, I'm a one-eyed body. How about Shemel Shabrakata? What do you think they're gonna do? If mothers ate their babies back then and they had more care for their children back then, what do you think these wild sea creatures, these beasts, these animals, like I said, I'm not speaking about everybody. I'm speaking about those that it does apply to. When you look at the behavior of these people today, they move like animals. Some of them don't even talk, they just grunt. Hey, whoa, get the fuck out of my way, nigga. You know? That So anyway, the point is, what do you think they're gonna do in this time? And to add one more factor to it, this time the Lord said is going to be worse than any time that has ever been before. So the degree of famine that the world saw in the past that made them eat their children, that must have been intense. And if you were to take that same degree of famine and put it in today's society, these people would eat their children and hunt other people's children. So what do you think they're going to do when you take a famine, right, that you have never experienced before, and you put these kind of people in that? You put chaos that you've never seen. Men were tough back then. People were tougher back then. They were bigger, they were stronger. They could actually go longer without eating. Today, these people are not, they're in the worst possible shape that they can be. And the Lord says, now's the time I'm going to bring the calamities in their highest forms that you've never seen or felt or heard or dealt with before. So that's going to be a recipe for disaster, right? It says here, warning about a looming famine not seen since World War II. The minister has named this the C-demic and Russia's ongoing military operation in Ukraine as its causes. Now, isn't it interesting, right? Isn't it interesting that both of these are orchestrated? Or should I say, they're just the perfect excuse to blame all the world's problems on. Blame it on the demic. Then, if that's not enough, blame it on Russia and Ukraine. So, do you now start to see at least one reason why this thing is still being dragged on? You saying, wait, hold on a second. Russia and their high military and technology and all this, and you guys said, all right, something happened. We're in Ukraine now. Y'all still there? What are you doing? But when you look on the Western media, oh, this war is raging on. We need to send more artillery over there. And then they show Zelensky and he comes out like some regular dude, right? It's like a dude from Money Heist. He pops up out of the air. Yeah, this is what's going on. We shot down one of the Western side makes it seem like there's a full-blown war going on. Then when you look on other sides, it's like, yeah, today's D-Day, we doing this, we doing that. You say, what time is there a war? Is there not a war? What the hell's going on? But the point is being dragged out. It's being dragged out because you can use this to your advantage. You can say, look at what's going on. It's still happening. So things are still getting worse. That's like unemployment, right? Unemployment, something happens, you lose your job. You're unemployed. So now, they start giving you this unemployment. And every week you collect this check. And then anytime they ask, yo, you still collecting this money? You say, oh, yeah, well, I'm still unemployed. So you're constantly blaming, oh, I can't get a job. These jobs, you know how things are going. You're constantly using that as an excuse. Now, you know that you can keep on receiving this check so long as you have this excuse to bank on. Well, the jobs are looking bad, the demic, things are hard. So you're going to do everything, if you could, in your power to keep that excuse. Right? So anytime, you still need that check. Yeah, I'm still unemployed. Hey, you see what's going on here? Well, that's what they're doing. They're milking this situation so they can crash this economy. They can introduce this CBDC. They can pass all. They can do anything they want to do, right? and just blame it on Russia, Ukraine, and the demic. And people are going to eat it up. Now they're going to say this whole abortion, oh, that's Russia, that's Putin's fault. It says, the situation is highly dramatic, the minister told the German tabloid in a late Saturday interview, adding that according to the UN World Food Program, more than 300 million people are already suffering from acute hunger. And the UN has to constantly revise this data upward. They got to constantly increase that amount because there's more and more people going through it. And people that never thought that they would ever sleep a night without eating, you're going to start seeing that. People are going to be, they're going to eat their tears. They'll be crying themselves to sleep. And children, they get hungry faster. But some way, somehow, the Lord's elect are going to be good. Isaiah 65:13. It says, food prices around the world have grown by a third and have reached record levels, Schultz has warned, adding that the bitter message is that we are facing the worst famine. Now, you see the word famine being used, right? Since World War II. So first, C19 and whatever else. And I mean, there's still different forms of pathogens out there. As Yahushua specifically warned, he said, wars and rumors of wars. He spoke about famines. He spoke about persecution. He spoke about pestilence, earthquakes. If you can't see it, then I mean, you just at this point, I don't know what to tell you really. Now it says what? We are witnessing the bitter message is that we are facing the worst famine since World War II, which could see millions die. And as you read in the book of Lamentations, dying of starvation is it's not an easy way to die. It's not a fun way to die. It's a horrible judgment that a lot of people are set to face, thinking that submitting to this beast is gonna deliver them, but it's not. It's not. There's only one way out of what's coming, because the scripture said, "And those that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." So don't think, oh well, I mean, if I just comply, they're gonna give me some of the rations. But then the Lord has another judgment for you. There's only one way to survive this time, but nobody seems to care about that. Interesting how it works. When the doors are open, nobody cares. When the doors are closed, that's when everybody wants to come to that one door. It says, in its May 6th statement, the World Food Program has warned that 44 million people around the world are marching towards starvation because Ukrainian grain cannot reach them, and called for the Black Sea ports to be opened so that this grain could be delivered to the needy. Well, that's not going to happen, because the scriptures say not just that a famine is coming, but that a lot of people are going to die by it. So that's how we know that this thing is not just going to be solved just like that. We're not getting out of a trouble. No, we're entering the time of trouble. All right, we're entering the time of trouble. Let's see. It says I'm just gonna skim and hit just a few parts here. And actually, let me throw this article here in the chat, and also this one here. All right, cool. So it says here, the minister has also claimed that the fact that 40 nations are home to half of the world's population did not condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine was supposedly a result of their vulnerability to food blackmail. She didn't offer any specific evidence to support this statement, though. Yeah, and what they ultimately are doing is cause the chaos, see the reaction, and bring the order. Hey, we have a solution, right? I mean, would you rather have no food, or would you settle for synthetic food? you know, would you rather starve to death, or would you partake in this meat that looks like meat? It may not be 100%, but hey, it's something. You know, I mean, this you gonna see just how evil and twisted this devil really is. He will do anything to achieve his agenda. But you know what? Barakatha Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See, seeing these things happen and prophecy being fulfilled is better than not seeing these things happen at all. See, we'd rather go through and see these things and then just have it be done with so we can finally move on than to stay in a world where no, you ain't seeing prophecy getting fulfilled, but quote unquote things are all right. No, hell no, that's torture. All right, that's torture, man. We we want to get delivered out of here. We want this devil to, hurry his ass up, make his move, do what you got to do, so we can, other things can get moving. All right, so to get a quick precept, because as we said, and then now you see how constantly repeating and going over the same precept over and over and over again, right? Now you're starting to see that, I mean, there's a reason why we did that. And then we do that. This is the book of Luke 21 and 28. It says, and when these things begin to come to pass, see, when these things begin to come to pass, right? As they start coming to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. It didn't say after these things they've already come to pass, then you can start looking up. No, when they begin to come to pass, when these signs start happening, that's when you lift up your head. Okay? Because that means your redemption is near. So we don't have to wait, to see, that, the every, a good large population of the world die of famine before we say, oh, look, the famines are happening. We're seeing it come, we're seeing it starting, and we know what direction it's going to head in. All right, which goes to show that what that deliverance is following directly behind that destruction. That's why it says immediately after the tribulation of those days, the Son of Man, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to show up. Okay, immediately. All right, now let's get Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. Now it says here the revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which is his actual name, which the Most High gave unto him to shew unto his servant. So what we have, our understanding of the scriptures are revelations. Okay, they are things that are revealed, Amos 3 and 7, revealed to us, okay, so we can understand the times we are in and the things that are going on and how to maneuver in these times. See, the Lord didn't leave us without a solution. We were given a warning, but along with the warning, we were also provided a way out. And that's the thing. People will hear the warning, but they don't want to take the way out. They don't want to take it seriously. It says here to shew unto his servants things which must surely come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So we know that, look, this ain't gonna be the world went through a tragic time, right? We call it Jacob's trouble. They might just call it, the worst time in history. But now we're 5 years into recovery, and we're going, we're getting better. No, no, no. This age stops here. Okay, Jacob's trouble is the beginning and the end. Well, not the beginning and the end, but it's the end of this age. This world is going to end with Jacob's trouble. So it ain't going to be, well, the world is going through this global famine and the pestilence and the craziness and transition to a digital society, and now we're moving on with society. Now we've come out of that time and we're moving. No, 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 no. All right. You don't get to come out of that time. You go into that time. By the time you come out, there's a whole new kingdom out here, right? There's a new king in town. Okay, because this time we're going into is going to destroy everything. And what I mean by that is this system, all right, the power system of Esau, his ideals and all of that is going to be put down as it should. It's way too much confusion out here, way too much madness, too much freedom, too much stupidity. All right, that's going on out here. People are too comfortable. And that's why we don't mind seeing these things come upon the earth, man, because the earth needs ass whooping. That's what these judgments are. This is Revelation 22:6. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And the Lord Yahweh, right, God of the holy prophets, sent his angel to shew unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Verse 7, behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. So we can't let go. We can't slow down. We can't take our foot off the gas. We can't get distracted. Nah, we gotta keep our head forward, because these sayings are faithful and true. And we're seeing that. We're seeing how faithful and true the words of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai are. Who else? Tell me who else is out there as bold as we are, talking about everything happening, what's going to happen next, how do we get out of it? Who else? Not the Christians, not the Muslim, not the Buddhists, not the Mormons, right? Not the small hats. Nobody else is coming. This dude Vocab spends his whole life, right, like a broken-hearted high school girl, and he just follows us everywhere. And just anything we do, he got something to say about it. But why is Vocab not warning you about the world? Are we the evils? Are we more evil than famine and pestilence and chaos and World War III? Do you think getting rid of us is the solution to that? So why is he not, all these people following him? You should ask yourself, okay, why is he not warning you about the MOTB? What does he say the MOTB is? And why is he not warning you? Shouldn't he's so busy focused on us, right? Shouldn't he be telling you, hey, look, these are the things that are coming. These are the things that the God of the Bible warned about. So this is how you should be moving. Nobody's doing it. Nobody else is out here saying, look, when you go into this part of the book, right? Even these Kemet people, where they're all their the Egyptian gods and books that are explaining to you why it is they're talking about global famines, and economic woes, and there's war tensions going on. Well, what can we do? What does this mean? Where is this written? What do we do? How do we get out of it? How do we survive? Do we die? Nobody else has those answers. Yet everybody can come out here and say, you guys are just haters. You don't know what you're talking about. You bugged out, but we're the only ones with answers. But you know what? That's okay, because, still for these people, the true questions haven't come yet. And they're going to come when their stomach is talking to them, when their children are crying, when they hear a gunshot directly out their window and fires everywhere, and the news is just telling you, I mean, this is times like never before. We don't even know how we're going to handle this. And that's when the questions are going to come up. And that's when the answers are going to disappear. So, I mean, the world is looking, it's looking like the Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is definitely turning things up. And may, Lord willing, something go down this year. Something got to go down. Something got to give. All right. Something got to give. So let me see what Buzz got on here. Yep. This is Measure the Times 144. Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And for a lot of people, it's going to be too late, because they done missed up on that opportunity. But for some, the Lord will have mercy. All right. Yep. Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, 144. Psalms 97 and 3. A fire goeth before him and burneth up his enemies round about. And that's all these people have been doing. They've been making themselves enemies of the Heavenly Father, enemies of his Son, enemies of the prophets. The one people you should be looking to seek, which is the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you should be looking to seek a good reputation with. You spend your whole life making an enemy out of them. But these calamities are going to teach them, all right? The calamities are going to teach the world perfectly. And that's why Isaiah 4:1 says what it says. Because the world is going to be such a difficult place to live. Living alone is going to be a difficult thing to do. Surviving. See, a lot of people struggle today because they want to be successful. I want a good life. I want a comfortable life, a good paying job. So I work hard. I struggle, right, to hustle to make a living. But soon people are going to be struggling to survive, just to live, not to live comfortably, but just to live. You want the expensive wine, the good looking clothes. Soon you're just going to want something. You're just going to want to be able to drink water, right? The perspective is going to change. The game is going to change, all right, from success to survival. I just want to live. I don't want to die because every 2 seconds somebody's dropping dead. Death is on every corner. You're not safe. Your heart is beating. You can't sleep, right? It's chaos that's coming. It's chaos. So, I mean, at this point, hey, Barakathay Hawaba Hashem Yahushai for giving us the eyes to see, right? And the mind to understand and the heart to repent, you know, and may Lord willing, may He have mercy on us and our loved ones in these times to come. All right. But for us, we're going to continue strong, keep your foot on the pedal. And hey, Lord willing, the Lord speed up these days that these things come to pass and we can get delivered out of here. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.